Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am Janine Harry, a communication scientist by profession, here to give you communication tips and self awareness strategies through conversation. So, thank you so much for joining me. And in today's particular YouTube video, I want to speak about the messy room analogy to dealing with stressful situations. And yes, it is a little analogy that I came up with. I think it is really beneficial in helping you look at stressful situations from a completely different perspective. Now, for the past 9 months, I have been so completely focused on learning how to deal with stress because anyone who knows me personally knows that I'm a bit of a panic mechanic. I don't always like stressful situations. But because it's been 9 months of me doing this intense inner work of learning how to deal with stressful situations, I was like, you know what? It is so important that we actually are put in stressful situations for us to assess whether we are able to practice the things that we are learning. And this is why I always say that it is no use you say things like, I am a good communicator or I'm able to deal with stress if you are constantly avoiding stressful situations or situations that require you to be an effective communicator. You actually need to be put in certain situations, specifically stressful situations, to assess whether you can put what you have learned into practice. And it is so important for us to be in these stressful situations, for us to actually, strengthen the muscle that allows us to deal with stress. And today I had I think it was like a 10-minute stressful situation happening to me. And I was like, yes, thank you. I'm so glad that this is happening because this situation is definitely going to allow me to assess whether I can deal with stressful situations. And what I realized is that a stressful situation is quite literally just a moment of crisis where there are things in our control and things which are out of our control that requires action that we can take and action that we cannot take. That's literally what a stressful situation is. And I was like, you know what? This is such a great example of why we can use the messy room analogy. Now, let's get into the messy room analogy. Okay. And basically, I would like to call this a situation in which you are assessing a crisis or any stressful situation using the messy room analogy. So I want you to think of a messy room, okay? There are clothes laying everywhere, it's completely messy. And there are obviously things that you want to do to fix up this room, but those are things that you cannot do right now. For example, you may want to fix the tiling or get new windows or paint the room. But those are things you can't do right now because doing that takes quite some time. It's going to take going to the warehouse and getting building materials and all those things. So you can't exactly do those big things in the moment. But there are little things that you can do. For example, you can begin by picking your clothes up from the floor. You can begin by getting a broom and a mop. You can begin by sweeping, mopping, dusting, packing your clothes away, rearranging certain things, and so forth. And this is literally what a stressful situation is all about. It is a messy situation in which there are so many things you want to do, but you can't do. There are so many things that are out of your control, so many things that you don't know how to do. And instead of focusing on what is not in your control and on the things that you cannot do, focus on what you can do. Okay? Focus on exactly what is within your control. And you are able to then go on to the next step and get started immediately. So, going back to this messy room analogy, You may not be able to start painting and installing new windows immediately, but what you can do immediately is get a broom and start sweeping. When there are things that are in our control and things that we know how to do, we are in such a perfect position to not waste any time and get started immediately. Okay. And once we actually get started immediately on cleaning that room and doing what we can do within stressful situations, this will lead to new insights. This will lead to you asking yourself, okay, so what new insights am I gaining? So let's get back to this messy room analogy. When you start cleaning your room, packing things away, rearranging things, and so forth, you will start finding things that you thought you lost a month ago. You will start finding that old sweater that you thought you lost. You will start finding a gadget you thought you misplaced somewhere. And you will be like so excited. Oh my word, like I thought I lost this. Oh my word, like I've been looking for this t-shirt like for so long. And oh my word, it's been in the cupboard and it's been under the tree all this time. Like, oh my word. That's exactly what a stressful situation is all about. Like when you start doing the things that you can do and you start focusing on what is in your control and you clear all of that out of the way, new ideas and fresh insights will come to you. Okay. New solutions will come to you. New ways of looking at things will come to you. New perspectives and ways in which to approach the stressful situation will begin to unfold. And it is at that point in time where you are able to apply these new solutions, these new insights, and these new perspectives to the stressful situation at hand. But in order for you to actually apply new insights and to find solutions to stressful situations, you first need to begin with where you're at. And where you're at is focusing on what you can control and what you can do. I want you to really look at every stressful situation or crisis within your life like a messy room that you are so eager to clear up and clean. And know that there are certain things you can do and certain things you can't do right now. There are certain things within your control and certain things that are not in your control. And that is fine because for as long as you just focus on what you can do and um, extend all your energy into what is in your control, that is when new insights will begin to unfold. Okay. But you need to start with where you are at. You need to start with the tools and the resources that you have at your disposal right now. The only reason why we get bogged down within stressful situations is because most often we get ahead of ourselves, and that is completely natural. It is completely okay to sometimes want to get ahead of ourselves and to want to have everything worked out and sorted out almost immediately. But life is just a series of steps, okay? And we have got to take things step by step by step by step, okay? I know this messy room analogy might seem quite small and trivial in the grand scheme of things, but it is such a simplified way of looking at big problems because all big problems really are is they are just magnified within the mind's eye, but it's not really that big. So I hope that this particular YouTube video will help you reframe your perspective when looking and assessing those stressful situations within your life. And it is at this point in time that I'd like to leave you with a quote of wisdom, like I always do. And today's quote comes from one of my favorite people ever, Sadhguru. And he says, the crisis is always an opportunity for human beings to rise beyond themselves. And I absolutely love that because crises and stressful situations really puts us in a perfect position to test our ability to get beyond ourselves and to overcome the fears and the limiting beliefs that we hold in ourselves. And I just absolutely love that. The crisis is always an opportunity for human beings to rise beyond themselves. Thank you, Sadhguru. I absolutely love that. If you've made it this far in the YouTube video, thank you so much for sticking around with me. And if you'd like to keep in touch, then please do subscribe to my YouTube channel. Don't be scared to engage and conversate with me by telling me what you think about this video in the comment section. And if you like this video, please do give it a thumbs up. You can also visit my socials and blogging platform. I do leave that information at the end of my presentations. And finally, if you'd like to email me, then you may do so at JanineHarry90 at gmail.com. Till next time, much love.